So guys, it's been a while since I've sat down and had a real conversation with you guys about my life here in Canada, right? So this is one of those videos where we're gonna have a little reasoning, a deep conversation about the beginning. Yeah, we spoke about it a whole lot. But in this video, I'm gonna be sharing about a topic that I haven't spoken about really in depth. And that conversation is how I ruined my credit when I just landed in Canada. Now, I've alluded to this topic a lot in some of my previous videos, but I haven't gotten a chance to do a deep dive. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a deep dive, sharing with you guys what did I do to ruin my credit, and also sharing some tips of not some tips, but exactly factual representation of what I did to recover from those bad credit situation, right? So guys, if you guys are new here, my name is Dems. I'm a Jamaican immigrant who migrated to Canada back in 2019. I came as an international student with my wife and my daughter at the time. And now we are permanent residents in pursuit of Canadian citizenship, and we have added another addition to our family. So now I have 2 girls and a wife. That's it. If you guys are new here, please take a quick second to hit that subscribe button. And if you are coming back to another video, thank you guys so much for coming back to another video. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Smash a like on the video. You guys know what to do. Leave your comments in the comment section. So guys, quick recap. Coming from Jamaica, landed in Canada in 2019 as an international student. Never traveled outside of Jamaica before. This was my first time traveling to any country outside of Jamaica. Didn't know what to expect. Didn't have any real mentor, for lack of a better term, who could show me the do's and the don'ts and so forth, so on. So a lot of what we did was really trial and error. Now, at the time in Jamaica, probably things have changed now. You guys can comment and let me know in the comment section if things are different now. But at the time in Jamaica, credit wasn't a significant thing, in the sense that you didn't have a credit score. That wasn't something that was massively integrated within the society, right? So as it relates to your credit, yeah, if you borrow and you don't pay it back, then it's one or two things. Your credit goes to bad debt, or they take you to court and then the judge say you have to pay it, or something of that nature, or they put your picture into the newspaper and so forth, so on. But it wasn't a case where you had a credit score that was attached to your name that affected the type of jobs that you got, the type of places that you could have gotten rented, kind of car that you drove, none of those things, right? So coming to Canada, that was the mindset that we had. We had the same Jamaican mindset coming into a new country, and which is why we speak all the time about unlearning and relearning, because this Canadian journey will cause you to unlearn everything that you thought you knew and to relearn everything about this new country, this new society. So landed in Canada in 2019, we went to the bank, we opened our first account, and when we were opening our account, the person who was opening our account mentioned to us that, hey, you know that as newcomers, you guys can get credit cards, right? And we were like, what? We don't even have a job yet, we can get credit card. And I'm like, yeah, we have these newcomer programs and you can get this credit card and so forth and so on. And we're like, it's that easy? And he's like, yeah, we don't even need a credit check because like you guys are new and so forth, so on. So we took those credit cards because we were really excited and so forth, so on. But what we had was poor money management. Because remember, I told you guys that we're coming from a society where credit wasn't a massive deal, right? So we took the credit cards and so forth, so on. And then before you know it, we are taking out new phones because our phones was okay, but apparently it wasn't good enough and it was so easy to get a phone. So we went, and again, I'm going to sum it up and say that all of those experiences were necessary, so then we're able to share with you guys the do's and the don'ts, right? But we didn't have anybody to really guide us and tell us, hey, do this, do that. The access to credit was so easy. The access to credit was so easy, and it was mind-boggling that we thought that, hey, we need to take everything because it's so easy, right? So we ended up taking new phones and phone plans and all of these things, and then ended up taking my first car here in credit, because I shared that story if you guys haven't seen it already. My first car was actually bought on credit in Canada because we needed a car. Malika wasn't working as yet. We didn't know what to expect throughout winter and so forth, so on. So we needed a car. So we ended up taking a car on credit. So we were paying a car loan, we had credit cards, we had new phones paying for. And guys, guess what? we didn't have a lot of money to transition with in the beginning. So what we started doing now was to start living on those credit cards. So we start living on those credit cards as a means to supplement our expenses. So we're living off credit, and then almost every money that we earned, we had to be paying back in credit. But then we still had our bills because we're still kind of like getting acclimatized into the new society. And then it was middle of COVID now, then not lost our job and all of those things. So what happened was now credit cards start racking up. We started making the minimum payments, and then before you know it, you miss a minimum payment here, which again in Jamaica that would be okay. Using like our Jamaican mentality, we're like, oh, that's okay, we'll catch up when we can. But then you realize that your credit score start going down, and then you start seeing that, hey, I need to start paying attention to this credit score thing. And then before you know it, you start missing your payment on your phone plan. And your phone plan starts piling up, and you start missed payments, and realize that every missed payment you make, it starts now going on your credit as well. And then your credit optimization and a number of different factors, long and short, our credit score got as low. I think at the lowest it got to was like 520, which is not terrible, but that's in the realm of bad credit. If you have a credit score underneath 600, oftentimes you can't get anything. You can't get a loan, you can't get a bank job, you can't get none of those things if your credit score is underneath 600, right? So that was what we had to deal with in our early instance in Canada. Like, we really and truly racked it up bad. It was bad because like we were literally living on credit, and we didn't really understand the system until probably a year in. Actually, if I'm being really honest. Now, what are some of the things that we did in order to get ourselves out of that hole that we were in? Now, the first thing we did was to stop digging. There's a famous quote: if you find yourself in a hole, you stop digging. So we stopped digging, right? We stopped digging and we identify where we were, and then we take it from there. So one of the things that I did was to sell the car that I had, trade it in because it wasn't finished paid off. Trade it in, and then luckily the balance was less than what the car was worth. So I got back a little change from that, and then we went and we got a much cheaper car. So then the car payment then was significantly less. The other thing we did was to pay off the phone, pay it down until it was done, and then get our credit card under control, and then start managing it, and then start paying keen attention to our credit card and to our credit, right? And then we had to do that over a consistent period of time in order to build back up our credit, because the thing is, the truth of the matter is, you can't ignore your credit in Canada, right? In other countries, you may be able to turn a blind eye and you know, just ignore it and hope it goes away, but you can't do that here, right? And that was one of the things that we had to learn. We learned that, listen, you have to pay attention to it, and pay very close attention to it, because it is one of the most important numbers that you need to know as a person who's living in Canada. Now, if you're new to Canada, what kind of tips would I give you guys? Don't over leverage yourself and live within your means. Live within your means. Live within your means. The access to credit is overwhelming, and for a lot of new immigrants, it catches us off guard. And because of that, a lot of us end up taking more than we need and put ourselves in very bad positions. So don't over leverage yourself. That's the first tip I would give you guys, and live within your means. If you can't afford it, you do without it. You go to the bank, they're gonna convince you to say, hey, take a credit card, take this, take that, take this, take that, take this, take that. However, it's a setup for failure. It's a setup for failure, right? Don't fall into that trap. It's a trap. I can tell you guys that it is a trap. Be smart, be vigilant, and do your research about credit and credit score before you actually start going into leveraging and taking credit. Because so many new immigrants don't understand credit and how credit works, and then they end up in a very bad situation, many of whom are not even able to recover until years in the future. So don't put yourself in that position, right? So live within your means. If you can't afford it, don't take it. Set a plan and live within your means, and then you go from there. Now, also know that no credit is just as bad as bad credit. So you need credit in Canada in order to survive. So what I would suggest to you is to take a credit card, but manage that credit card very smartly, right? Don't pretend like it's free money, it's borrow money. It's borrow money. And just put that in the back of your mind that this money is not yours, it's being borrowed, right? And then use that credit card to sole purpose of building your credit, because you're gonna need to have credit when you're looking for a mortgage, when you're looking for a car and so forth, so on. But at the end of the day, just manage it properly, right? That's the conversation I wanted to have with you guys right now. If you guys like the conversation, let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed already. Road to 16,000 subscribers. We can't do it without your help. So if you haven't subscribed already, guys, please, you might be the one to take us to 16,000. Really appreciate it. Love and appreciate all of you guys. Until next time, see you guys in the next video.